So last year I watched this Japanese drama about a 747-400 pilot with All Nippon Airways, and I really liked it. It's also, the main character is played by one of my favorite actors, Takuya Kimura. So I finished the show and I was like, I have to own like a 747 model in the All Nippon colors, but I couldn't find any for a reasonable price online. But then I remembered that I have this old 747-400 with a Landor livery from British Airways, and I never built it because I think it looks so old and kind of ugly. So I ordered these decals online from Airline Decals with All Nippon livery, and then I decided that I would just convert this British Airways livery into the All Nippon 747-400 from the show Good Luck. The first step was removing the old grey paint using VMS's Clean Slate. In some areas the paint messed up the plastic, so I had to sand these areas down later. The kit doesn't come with window parts, so these had to be filled. The window decals don't exactly line up with the molded windows, so it was important that they were all filled completely smooth. I use a rubberized CA glue to fill the outside of the windows. I have to be honest, this CA glue is like the true MVP of this project, so be prepared to see it reappear a few times in this video. The CA takes a long time to dry, so I spray water over it to make it harden faster. Nothing on this model really fits, so I had to sand and fill so much. Like, I don't think I'll ever make the Revell 747 ever again. I needed a counterweight and a nose, so I hot glued a couple stones in the front. And they probably are a bit overkill, but I like when these large models feel kinda heavy when you hold them. The windshield doesn't fit so good, so I decided to just use a decal instead. I also lost some panel lines during the sanding process, so I had to rescribe all these. My worst fear with this model was that I would someday knock the wings off, so I made sure to use an extra amount of CA to make absolutely sure that they would stay in place. The worst part of this model is definitely the wing box. Like, I had to use a lot of pressure to keep it in place until the CA dried, and it required so much sanding. I sprayed the first layer of primer over the seams to see how bad it was. As you can see, there's a huge gash where the wing box joins the wing. All the black arrows on the fuselage are areas that needed to be redone. I needed a break from all the sanding and filling, so I started on the engines. These sadly enough also weren't much better than the rest of the airplane, and they required a lot of work to look correct.
Just let me show you how, 'cause it's such a beautiful day. Just look up to the sky, that's where we wanna be. Just let me show you how, 'cause it's such a wonderful day. Just look up to the sky, that's where we wanna be. Just let me show you how, 'cause it's such a wonderful day.
The first paint I applied was this Vallejo aluminium on the leading edges of the wings and stabilizers. I painted the fuselage with Tamiya XF2. This took pretty much the whole bottle. I didn't really want to deal with the hassle of using the decals for the tail and fuselage stripes, so I decided to mask and paint them instead. I also sprayed a layer of varnish over the masking tape to ensure that there wouldn't be any paint bleed. The Trident blue stripes were applied using the Atom acrylic paint by ANA. I decided to add the engine before spraying the main underside color since they required some filling and sanding to fit properly. I bought this Tamiya anti-static brush in Sapporo to remove dust before painting. I don't know if it does much, but it does make me feel like a professional when I use it. The tip of the radome should be this subtle beige color. For as far as I know, it's only present on ANA 747-400. I've never seen it being done on like any other 747 or other ANA airplanes. I don't really know why it is, because it only covers like the absolute tip of the radome. After painting the wings grey, I sprayed a layer of GX100 over the entire aircraft. This is to make sure that the decals don't silver, and also to prevent any damage to the paint. I really wanted a version of the 747 that appeared in the TV show. However, most of the airplanes that you see in the show itself are with the older All Nippon logo, which is like this black writing with the Japanese flag. However, in episode 9, for like a few seconds on screen, there's like this newer livery with the newer logo, so I'm still counting it as safe. I traced the panel lights with a pencil instead of using panel liner because I felt like the contrast would be a little bit too high, especially for like a civilian airliner. After adding the landing gear, I realized that the center gear is too short, so I had to remove it and lengthen it. I'm not sure why or how this happened. Maybe it's my fault, maybe it's the manufacturer's fault. I don't know. It was super annoying though to realize that the gear is just hanging in the air. So after the disaster of the landing gear, another disaster struck. I accidentally spilled some Tamiya extra thin on the painted surface, and it reacted with the GX100 varnish. So I was contemplating what should I do, and I just decided to completely sand it off again, that section, and respray it. I sanded off the detail of the main gear doors, but I used a pencil again to create the outlines. After spraying a final layer of GX100 and adding the gear doors, I considered it finished. I know it's been like 2 years since my last video, and it might as well be 2 years until my next. I've been super busy, so yeah. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video.
青い水平線を今駆け抜けてく研ぎ澄まされた時の流れ感じてよときめきへと動き出す世界は忘れ